If you thought the Suns were done making moves this offseason, you were wrong. The franchise making a trade for their G League team, the Valley Suns, to add another player to hopefully make an impact in the franchise, the Valley Suns' first G League season. We're going to break down this trade and look into who the Valley Suns added onto their roster right here on Suns Digest. My name is CJ Pierre. Thanks for joining us, you guys. We appreciate all the love and support. Before we get into the newest addition to the Suns G League Valley Suns team, we noticed that about 82% of you guys have been watching our videos, and we appreciate that, but you haven't subscribed to the channel just yet. If you want to keep up to date with all the latest Suns news, updates, and rumors, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. Now, let's get into the latest addition to the Suns franchise of sorts, to the Valley Suns G League franchise, as the Valley Suns make a trade. Now, a lot of people don't know this, but the G League, which is basically the NBA's developmental system, they also have a draft. They also have picks in that draft, and they can make moves to acquire players on other teams, on other G League teams, just like the NBA teams can do. That's not necessarily something that was the case previously, but that's what is happening with the new G League team, the Valley Suns, using one of their future picks, and already with the basically an expansion team at this point, and making a move to pick up a player from OKC Blue, the Oklahoma City Thunder's G League team, as the OKC Blue trade Jaden Shackelford to the Valley Suns. Jaden Shackelford now coming to the Valley Suns. He will be playing alongside many the Suns' two-way players, Jalen Bridges, Colin Gillespie, and Ty Washington. Even though there's some rumors that Colin Gillespie may not spend a lot of time in the G League system, but let's take a look at Jaden Shackelford. There he is, right there in his OKC Blue. He has some experience with the G League. He's played in the G League for the past 2 seasons after going undrafted in the 2022 NBA draft. We'll get into a little bit more of his player profile and what the Valley Suns will be able to expect when they get Jaden in Phoenix. But let's just kind of break down this trade here. As the Valley Suns traded their first round pick in the 2025 NBA G League draft to acquire the returning player rights of guard Jaden Shackelford from the Oklahoma City Blue. Shackelford appeared in 60 games with 43 starts over the past 2 seasons with the Oklahoma City Thunder's G League squad. So, again, like I mentioned, having some previous experience, so he'll be one of the most experienced players on this Valley Suns team. I would assume that he is going to be inserted right into the starting lineup and is someone that will be a focal point in terms of what the Valley Suns do. On the offensive end, primarily, he's a little bit more of an offensive player than he is a defensive player, but I think he will be a welcome addition to this team. Now, let's just get into who Jaden Shackelford is, and let's talk a little bit about his player profile and what we're going to be able to expect on the court. Now, the Valley Suns, I think they're going to be really one of the more exciting G League teams. I think when you have something new, something that hasn't been seen before, there's always this expectation that they're going to struggle. If you think about the expansion franchises in the past, you look at the Houston Texans in the NFL started going off to a rough start because you're building it from nothing. If you look at when the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Toronto Raptors joined the NBA back in the mid '90s, and the kind of struggles that they had, particularly starting off, it's you have that vibe. You're starting from scratch. But the Valley Suns could be a little bit different. They have when you have two-way players that are probably going to spend a lot of time there, guys who either have some NBA experience or guys who are, very thought of highly, particularly that have been undrafted, and then they're able to acquire players on their own. Then you have the makings of a team that actually might make some noise right away. And let's see how Jaden Shackelford could impact that. Now, he spent his college career at Alabama, played 3 years there, and he was a scorer right off the bat, averaging over 15 points his freshman year. Dipped a little bit his sophomore year, but when he became a full-time starter, averaging 14 points per game, and then averaging a college career high of 16 and a half points per game. He was also a okay three-point shooter, shooting over 35% for the entirety of his college career, and then he was active on the boards, averaging about 4.6 rebounds per game. a little bit active on the defensive end and not really a playmaker. He's just kind of more of a scorer. That's kind of really what his MO is. He's an okay defender. He's got tons of athleticism. So that part I think the Valley Suns will like. But he's a guy who can handle the ball and can really get into the paint, attack the basket, and he's a solid enough shooter that he is going to be a threat on the perimeter as well. Now, move over in terms of what he was able to do in the G League for the past couple of seasons. Again, very effective, scoring at as well, averaging 15 points in his first year with the Oklahoma City Blue, and then 13 points during his second year. Both years he had some time where he came off the bench, and when he started, I think he will be primarily a starter. Definitely upped his 3-point shooting over the course of the G League and kind of modeling after what the NBA game is going to look like, averaging over 3 point attempts per game in the G League. Now that's a lot. That means that he's going to have the ball in his hands. He's going to shoot a lot. He actually upped his assist numbers as well in the G League, which I definitely liked as well. I think that Jaden Shackelford is someone who is definitely going to be a welcome addition to what the Valley Suns do, and I think that he is going to surprise some people in terms of what he does. And I think the Suns, they have a little bit of you know familiarity with Shackelford. He appeared in a G League game this summer against the Suns with the Oklahoma City Thunder. He participated in the summer, and he really showed his improvement on the perimeter. He shot the lights out in that game. He did come off the bench in that game, but he had a very, very impressive stat line in that game going up against the Suns in Summer League. Shackelford against the Suns in Summer League. Just here's a stat line: 18 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, shot 6 for 9 from 3-point range. That's where all his points came from in that particular game. Again, he does have the ability to also attack the basket as well. So the fact that he is kind of really developed his offensive game to a level where he is going to be a threat from the perimeter and attacking the basket, I think is definitely going to be a welcome sight for fans of the Valley Suns, or soon to be fans of the Valley Suns, when the team kind of kicks things off this upcoming season. I think it's going to be an interesting time. I think it's definitely something that uh, fans are going to be excited about. When you have this new team that's going to really just kind of take the league by storm here. When you have that's another basketball team. Arizona is a basketball town. They love basketball here, and I think that the Valley Suns are definitely going to get a lot of support. They are going to really be one of those teams that I think will, surprise a lot of people, and I think they're going to basically, really get a lot of fans very early, especially with the moves that they're making with some of the guys that are on the two-way roster: Jalen Bridges, Colin Gillespie, Tata Washington. Like I mentioned, if they're guys who are going to be appearing in some games, I think that they're going to be one of the more exciting teams. Now, the team's a little guard heavy. All those guys are guards. Shackelford's also a guard, so you'll have to figure out, minutes. Jalen Bridges, he can probably play a little bit of three, play in the front court, but I think that um, when you look at what this Valley Suns roster ends up looking, what it's going to end up being, I think it's going to be one of the more competitive team. The season for the Valley Suns kicks off on November 8th. They'll take on the Santa Cruz Warriors, the Golden State Warriors G League team. Then they will open at Mullet Arena in Tempe against the Stockton Kings, the Sacramento Kings. G League team. That'll be on November 11th. That'll be the Valley Suns home opener, first home game for the Valley Suns. And I think it's an exciting time here. I think we're all excited, not just for the Valley Suns, but for what the Phoenix Suns are going to look like. And it's a championship or bust season. And when you take a look at Valley Suns game, you are potentially looking at what the future of the Phoenix Suns will look like. And I think we're all excited about that. So that's it. The Valley Suns trading a first round pick for Jaden Shackelford. Let us know what you guys think about this move in the comments below. We are going to keep moving forward over the course of the remainder of the offseason as we move into training camp and then into the preseason as we continue to update you guys on the Phoenix Suns and the Valley Suns. And if you want to make sure you're keeping up to date with all of the latest Suns news, both Suns news, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the thing that we're going to have going for you guys. That's all the time I got for you guys. Really, thank you so much for joining us here on Suns Digest. My name is CJ Pierre, and I will be breaking it down for you guys next time. So go, Phoenix Suns.